Joining me now from San Diego is Pete McCall. He's a certified personal trainer and hosts the podcast All About Fitness. He's also the author of Smarter Workouts, the science of exercise made simple. So Pete, is this simply a trend? I know it's been around for a little while, but is it here to stay?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. I think it is. I mean, yes, it's a trend, but I think that given the benefits, we will see cryo be here for the long term.
Now, in our story, we just saw there are a variety of people of all ages doing this for different reasons. What have you seen and experienced among your own clients?
Well, here's the thing. For anybody that's ever iced an ankle or put ice on a sore part of their body, they've already done cryotherapy. What this is, it's whole body immersion cryotherapy that, as you heard the one doctor say, or the one person say, is a shock to the system. I see it as being somewhat beneficial, but in all honesty, an ice bath is much more affordable, or a good night's sleep is actually the best form of recovery possible.
So when we see the cases of the Michael Phelps and all the other athletes, what does it do for them?
Well, it's helping. So the idea of recovery is that you want to try to return to homeostasis, which is your body's normal resting state, as quickly as possible. So that quick cold exposure brings the core temperature down, and it will bring the blood into the center mass of the body. Then as the blood returns, and this is the theory, by the way, as the blood returns to the extremities, it brings with it the oxygen, the nutrients, and everything that helps the body recover quicker from exercise. So if you're doing very strenuous activity, cryo, full body cryo can be one way to recover quicker, and that can mean getting back to full competition strength, maybe a day or two ahead of time, which is a huge deal in something like the Olympics.
So when we see U.S. football players at practice jumping into an ice bath, same concept?
It's the exact same concept. An ice bath requires about a 15 to 20-minute exposure, but the cryo with the nitrogen gas is a 3-minute exposure. So it just depends on what your comfort level is.
Is there any concern about this not being regulated or not covered by insurance? Could or should it be? And does it differ depending on what country you're in?
Well, that's a great question, because when you look at this, we don't know what the long-term effects of cryo exposure are, like exposure to these type of extreme temperatures. We know in the short term that this type of stress is not a bad thing for the body, but over the long term, we just don't have the data yet. So it's one of those things I tell clients, if it feels good and you can afford it, go for it. But I really wouldn't, I wouldn't make this a long-term strategy, but I would make it definitely part. If you're feeling bad, it could definitely help in the short term.
Maybe something you do here or there, work in, not a regular sort of recovery, as you mentioned. What advice do you have for people that are interested in perhaps trying cryotherapy? Is this for everyone? I mean, walk us through some of the pros and cons, if you can.
Well, first of all, I am not a fan of extreme cold. And so when I tried cryo, it was extremely uncomfortable for myself. And so that 3-minute exposure was like, okay, great. I'd rather sit in an ice bath with a hoodie on and a hat on than sit in that gas chamber again. But what it's going to do is it can help you feel a little bit better. It does, going through it, you do feel an immediate sensation. That's because when all the blood rushes in, as it goes out to your body and your extremities, you feel that tingling sensation. So in the short term, you do feel the benefit of it. But again, I look at that, rather than being exposed to negative, almost 200 degrees, getting, an extra couple hours of sleep is much more comfortable and can be just as effective for, exercise recovery.
Good tips there. Pete McCall in San Diego, thank you so much.